hot yoga problems. I got them. Oh boy, do I got them today, my yogi friends across the land. I'm coming to you from a foreign territory, yes, indeed. Maintaining the hot yoga practice coast to coast. Oh. I just wrapped up a fantastic what's it called? All stages flow or something. It's like open to anybody who wants to flow. Hot yoga down here in the Outer Banks. OBX, my goodness. You know it. You know when I'm out of town, the hot yoga saga must continue, must maintain. The practice is eternal. The struggle shall never end, but the fight will continue in eternity. Oh. The problem of the day, my friends, my yogi friends, is one I'm sure we can all relate to when we're trying to maintain our hot yoga practice in a foreign territory, in a foreign land, in a foreign place and time. It can be challenging. First, on the motivation front, let's be honest, when you're on a summer vacation down in the OBX, I'm talking Duck, Kitty Hawk, Nag's Head, Corolla. You know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. IYKYK. Hashtag that. OBX. And there's a lot of distractions down here, my friends. There's a lot to do. Stack 'em high, pancakes. I mean, that was the option. Hot yoga or stack 'em high. I'm telling you, stack 'em high is something else. Something else. But I maintained. I made the right choice. The yoga is what I pursued this morning, and it was a beautiful session. And OBX Hot Yoga, they don't play games with that brand. You know what you're going to get when you step foot in that studio. They don't play games. There's no like Serenity or like tree pose house or whatever. Some of the yoga names out there, you wouldn't know what it is. You'd be like, what is this strange venue? Well, OBX Hot Yoga. I think you know what you're talking about. I think you know what you're going to get yourself into there. And here's the thing. If it's going to be yoga, it's got to be hot. This is just something I've come to believe in. And I respect all forms. I don't discriminate on some margin. I respect it all. I appreciate anybody who's doing yoga anytime, anywhere, in any circumstance. But the more hot yoga I do, the more addicted to that climate I have become. I don't foresee a scenario in which I would not prefer heat over moderate temperatures in a yoga studio. And they brought the heat today. No joke. No joke. And that's the fun thing. When you are in a foreign land, first of all, you got to scout out the studio. You got to know where you're going. You got to look it up online. And it's not always easy. There are a couple yoga apps out there. There's exercise apps, and they allegedly say, oh, we know where all the studios are. Just enter a keyword, and we'll give you the radius, and we'll give you directions. Door to door. You know, I found that not every studio is always on every app. So then you got to go on to Google, and you got to figure out where you're going to go. And it's always about proximity. I'll be honest, I'm staying in Duck. Quack, quack, Duck. And here's something about yoga studios. I think if someone would take time to aggregate the data on this, I would have a hypothesis. The closer you get to the coasts, the more per capita yoga studios you run into. I'm telling you, I'm in Duck, and I think I could throw a stone and hit 5 yoga studios within the distance of my condo, townhouse. What's the difference between a townhouse and a condo anyway? Can someone elaborate on that? Are they a Venn diagram almost overlapping? Is every townhouse a condo, but not every condo a townhouse? I think that might be what it is. Well, anyway, it's like a house, but it's connected to other houses, and you have, a little garage underneath. Not a garage, like a port. Who cares? It's just a place where I'm staying. The point is, it's in Duck. And that's just a beautiful little town. There's probably like 3 or 4 studios within a short drive. But they're not hot, my friends. They're not hot. They're normie. They're normie yogi. The normie yogi. That would be a good name for a studio if you weren't a hot studio. Call it normie yogi. And that's cool. Everyone can go there and have a blast. Knock yourself out. Trees, frogs, kickstands, arm balance, whatever whatever floats your boat. I'm a fan. The world needs more of it. But when I have to scout my territory and look for an option to maintain my hot yoga practice, I think when I see something that's about 15 miles away, I'm going to hit it up. And I'm going to maintain my early morning habit. It's a ritual of sorts. Typically I'm super early bird, 6 a.m. The earliest here was 7:30. That seems like a little late to me. Man, I'm up and I'm running by 7:30. I'm out the dough. I'm ready to rock. I'm crushing the day. But not here. It's a little slower pace. The per capita yoga studio question is for real. Someone needs to look into this. That could be a dissertation project, sociological research. Why is it that as we get closer to water, people start to understand the value of hot flexibility more? I don't know. It's just someone needs to figure this out. But there are lots of studios here. I just prefer, there's not that many hot yoga studios. Because let's think about it. Hot yoga is pricey. It's a premium. You pay a premium to get that heat. You need that heat. I need that heat, man. I can't do it without the heat, man. If it's not hot yoga, it's just yoga. It's like peanut butter and jelly without the jelly. It's just a peanut butter sandwich. I like peanut butter sandwiches I guess. When's the last time I ever actually... Maybe I don't like peanut butter sandwiches. I like peanut butter jelly sandwiches. If you take out the jelly, what's the point? That's how I feel about hotness and yoga. And so I mapped it out. Had to traverse from Duck to Nag's Head. And I don't know if you've ever been down in the Outer Banks, home of the Wright brothers and the first flight. Oh my goodness, what an extraordinary tale. If you don't embrace that ethos of entrepreneurship, invention, genius, experimentation, testing, learning, pushing boundaries to find new and better ways to live, what extraordinary human beings. I can't believe I'm in the same physical proximity to where Orville and Wilbur crushed it. Proved the world what humankind can do when we put our mind to something. I love that story. I love those guys. I absolutely. You talk about time travel situations, you're like, who would you like to meet? Or maybe it's more like, if you're in heaven, who would you want to check? I want to talk to Orville and Wilbur and just shake their hand. Now, here's the thing. I don't like flying. Modern flying blows. Let's be honest. We all agree with that, don't we? It's a horrible situation, but it's a remarkable thing to, it's like time travel. You're just like, you close your eyes, you're there somewhere else 5 hours later. It's pretty insane, and they kicked it off. And I'm right here in the general hometown, man, where it all went down, where it all began. I guess there's some disputes about that. There's some people out there that say, no. Some other cats were flying around before these dudes. I don't believe it. Don't believe that for a second. We got a mythology we got to buy into here as Americans, and that is that Wilbur and Orville are heroic, genius, first movers. And if you want to dispute that, I guess I'm open to facts and evidence, but not conjecture. And all I hear is a bunch of yap. America created traveling by air. That's just Just accept this reality, friends. Embrace it. Don't resist it. Don't fantasize that some other dude in France was flying 100 years earlier, but no one noticed. No one documented it, but we had it first. Yeah, whatever. I don't buy it. If a tree falls in the forest, does it make a noise? I don't know. If a dude flies off a cliff in France and soars for 100 yards and nobody saw it, did it happen? Oh. But here's the challenge, the problem. We have a bit of an extended episode today because it's a longer drive. It's not like it's super close like the typical episode. And I'm recording on my headphones. I have a different car I'm driving down here. It's like, it's very, very novel. It's different. It's got a different vibe going today. But the problem is, and it's not a super big problem, but it's just something you gotta account for. And that is the travel distance to the studio that you've never been to before. You can map it out, but that doesn't really give you a sense of the time it will take to get there. And even the forecasts that they provide on many of these apps these days, I'm skeptical that they really know what they're talking about. Except for Waze, baby. That is the beautiful app. Give it up for Waze. Who could not want to see where the cops are on your journey and where the traffic is red and it's going to be really terrible, and it gives you automatic bypass options. I mean, I love Waze. Is it Waze or Waze? I'm going to go with Waze. I kind of like that. Let's go with that. Waze said it would take me like 20 minutes to get there. It was pretty accurate. But there's a lot of stoplights. A lot of traffic. A surprising amount of traffic. We are past the summer, man. It's sort of like late summer. It's Labor Day week. Give it up for the labor. For the working man. 40-hour week for a living. Just to send it on down the line. Little Alabama for you. IYKYK hashtag. Seriously, if you do not know Alabama Greatest Hits, 40-Hour Week is the greatest hit on the Greatest Hits album, in my esteemed opinion. You got to crank it, hit it on repeat, and learn every word. Memorize it. Commit it. That's what I'm saying. Oh, so I got to the class and it was cool, and I was not as early as I would have preferred, but thankfully it wasn't too slammed, and I was able to get my front corner spot by the mirror so I could see myself. And here's the thing: when you go to a foreign studio, you often are going to encounter a flow that you're unaccustomed to. Now, granted, I go to different yogis at my home studio, and I get different vibes. And even the same yogi will mix it up every month, every week. They change it up. That's cool. They're trying to keep it fresh, keep it real, make it exciting. But when you're in a foreign land, you just don't know what you're going to get. You don't have a clue. You do not know what you're in for. And this was a slow flow today, my friends, and it was hot. First of all, there's two distinctions. They heated that room. Now, it could be that we're out here in the ocean, like and by the ocean, and there might be some sultry, humidity. It's a situation. It's an environmental distinction between the Outer Banks, the OBX, and the Northern Virginia Nova. There's definitely a difference in climate, and that might affect the heat. But it also could be that they had these really massive, like, X-ray, I don't know what they're, like, heat projectors on the wall. And just coincidentally, one of those big vents, it's not like, it doesn't blow air. It's just like this, it's a panel. It's a panel, and it emanates heat. I mean, it just pushes it out. And of course, the corner slot where I was laying was like right by it. So I was getting toasty. But that felt great. I got there a little bit early, just got some breath work in. I will say something else about the foreign studio. I'm so used to the home studio, home base, where they have little marks for where you put your mat. I think I like that. It gives you a little guideline. Now, people sometimes, color outside the lines. I understand. We all got to be different. We all have personality. I've seen people roll in and just completely reject the premise of floor markings for your mat. They're like, I don't believe in that. This is an open space. I'm going to throw my mat wherever I like. And I think that's an attitude. I don't like it. It's not my position, but I respect it. It's what, we're all different. We have different DNA and different strengths and weaknesses. I find that pretty arrogant. I feel like if you're on someone else's property, you should, play by their rules. When in Rome, use the freaking mat guidelines on the ground. They're there for a reason. It's not your studio. You're a guest here. I know you paid an outrageous amount of money to be here, but still, come on, man. Just be respectful of the territory that you're in. You can't just go throw your mat up and down, cover up 2 or 3 of those things sideways. What is going on? No. Well, here's the craziness. When you go to a new studio like this one today, they don't have the floor mat guidelines. Oh my gosh, chaos ensues. You can go anywhere. There's nothing to like ensure that you get maximum capacity in the room. So as more people come in, occasionally I can hear them in the back behind me. Excuse me, can you move over a little bit? Oh, it's a very inconvenient situation. I'm glad I don't have to deal with that. I was there early. I got my top corner space right by a mirror. I could see myself without my glasses. Sans glasses, hot yoga. One and done. I didn't have to move around. No one had to tell me to scoot over because I was taking up too much room. I felt very good about my lack of imposition on others. That's a goal in life. Why can't more people aspire to that? Can we just agree we should try to navigate this complex world in a way that minimizes the externalities we impose on third parties? Why is that so hard for people to comprehend? That should be the default norm. Thank goodness I was raised by parents who taught me right. Be respectful of others. Be aware of your space. Come on, man. Get with the program. So yes, I'm very proud of myself. I threw the mat down. I rolled it. Oh, by the way, I didn't bring my home mat. I have a different mat down here at the Duck House, and it's like a different vibe. We're going to talk about this tomorrow or maybe the next, however long it is before my next studio. I bought 3 classes. Yeah, dude, I'm going for an economy package because I'm down here for a week. You're going to get 3 extended hot yoga problem episodes. I have 3 classes over the course of the week. I'm going to record each time I come home, and it's an extended. Not only are you getting an extended single episode because it's a long drive, you're going to get 3 extended episodes. I got to save some of my best material for the middle or third one. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm making this up as I go. But I think tomorrow or whenever I go next, I'm going to be rapping about mats. Mats, baby, mats. They're so essential to a hot yoga scenario. And there's so much to contemplate about these objects, like, man, the difference of styles and sizes and fonts, textures, thickness, materials, mouthfeel. Mouthfeel. We're going to talk about that's not, I don't. You don't eat your mat. So sometimes I do though. When I'm like face on the ground, panting, struggling, in a state of mass distress. I can admit to you, I bite the mat sometimes, and I get angry with myself. Why do I suck? Why can't I do a triple Lindy downward dog backflip before I into a seated forward fold? I don't know. So yes, occasionally I do have a mouthfeel variety experience. We're going to go into that tomorrow. So but the point is, when you're in a foreign land, you got to map it out. You got to maintain. It takes extra initiative, extra patience, extra tenacity to really just stick with it. I'm really glad I went today. The flow was slow. The heat was what rhymes with heat? The heat was high. That doesn't work. It was very hot. It was very slow. It was very pleasant, with interspersed with moments of immense pain and distress and discomfort. But I was able to overcome that pretty effectively, and I'm pretty happy about it. So I'm going back there a couple times this week. Stay tuned for more hot yoga problems. I am approaching the duck house. The duck house. The townhouse or the condo, whatever you want to call it. 2 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. What more do you need on the beach, man? It's like a 5-minute walk to the shore. I mean, honestly, I should just live here. This is pretty much my vibe. I like everything. Oh, that's not where I'm going. I get lost, too. I take turns too early at times. You got to be careful down here when you're driving and talking and recording podcast episodes, because there are people on bikes zipping around, not a care in the world. It is incumbent upon you, the driver, to be attentive and alert. So that's why I take it slow. All right. Hot yoga. Yawn action. I'm tired. I just got to get the day going here. That was a great way to start it. Thank you for your time, attention, support, friendship, kinship, and continued listenership. Until next time, namaste, mofos.